finally the weekend. Chloe, thank you for sharing the live. Really appreciate that. Today, I've hooked up some hardware. So I've got some hardware with me today as well. The HMI and PLC. How is everyone tonight? How's everyone's week at work been? Check you can see that okay. Like so. That looks a bit better. Welcome everyone. Good evening everyone. Right, what I want to do, I'll steal some buttons and some push buttons from a different screen, chuck them on this screen. In fact, let's steal all of them. Welcome everyone, welcome in. Tap out the soft. Ah, okay, yeah, I'm with you. I get what you're saying now. GX works. There we go. Just stealing some stuff from a different page and we can talk about it. Welcome in everyone, welcome. We've only just started a couple of minutes ago. Right, okay. How can I define many screens in tier portal? Do you know what? I've never worked with a tier portal HMI screens. I'm still learning tier portal myself, to be fair. I used to program PLCs in Siemens S7-1200 PLCs years and years ago. And then I got into Mitsubishi and never really went back. So I never actually, and I never did any of the HMI stuff. This is cool. Thanks for spreading knowledge. Sadly not seen CNC programmers during the same thing. Yeah, I don't really know anything about CNC, mate, so I couldn't really help you there. But you're welcome. Thank you for saying that. I do appreciate it. How are you doing this evening, Tarpins? Right, let's grab this analog and then we should be good to go. You should be able to see that okay, I think. Yep. Welcome everyone. Good evening. Right. We've got Y1, Y2, Y3, Y4, X2, X3, X4, X5. Is that right? 2, 3, 4 and 5. Looks good to me. Is it Alan Bradley? No, mate. It's Mitsubishi. This is Mitsubishi HMI software and the PLC software. Excuse me. I can set this one into monitoring mode, and I can probably show you that there. That when I put that switch into the right hand side position, you can see I've got a bit of a flash going on. So there's not really much of a program in it at the minute, but that's something we can build on tonight. Thank you for the likes everyone. Welcome. And over the other side you can see the two coils going, which are the lamp green and lamp red. Original, thank you for the follow, really appreciate that. Welcome in everyone. Right. So if I write that to the screen, we should be able to see it. In fact, we can see it light up now, but I'm on the wrong screen, that's why. I have got a HMI down here with me. Yeah, in fact, let's write our screen. So I need a button on my nav page, which is this one. I'll just copy that. For the TikTok stuff, this is just how I've been doing it. I've just got a page full of different screens and I can just link to them. So I'll rename that. I'll call it 15. Carlos, thank you for the follow, mate. Really appreciate it. Welcome in, everyone. Welcome in. Right, so that's going to link to that page. text wants to be, I'm just calling this the TikTok page. I'm not very good with naming. TikTok page, there we go. So if I write that in, I think we should at least have something to show. Let's bring that up a little bit. You guys can see that okay? Yep. Right. Send. Tests. I feel like it should be good to go. I've not actually tried it yet. We'll soon find out. Gumball, thank you for the heart, mate. Really appreciate it. How's everyone doing tonight? Welcome in, welcome in. Don't forget to double tap the screen, please. Alright, we're writing. It's a little bit slow. Why is it so slow? It's very slow, in fact. It's never normally that slow. We can wait a second. Welcome in, everyone. Welcome in. How are we all this evening? I don't know why it's so slow. Normally it takes literally about 10 seconds. New computer. I'm going to put it down to that. I've not got it set up right. Welcome in, everyone. Welcome in. Doing some HMI programming, some PLC programming. Take any question any of you guys have got. Welcome in, welcome in. Oh, this is taking forever. Right, let's go across this screen. You can you hear the clicking? I feel like you can hear the clicking. And you see that the two coils are going on and off, which are driving the lamps. This is basically just if the switch is in the right hand side position, I have a 2-second clock, which is an internal clock to the PLC. And that's just 2 seconds on, 2 seconds off. That is then driving the green lamp. And then a normally close contact of that green lamp is then driving the red lamp. So that's basically saying whenever the green lamp's not on, put the red lamp on. Red lamp on. Welcome in, everyone. Welcome in. How is this download getting on? I don't know what's going on. I'll have to have a look at that. It's probably because I've got it going through a USB hub, which probably doesn't help the speed. But I haven't really got a choice. I've used all the USB ports on the front of my computer. Welcome in, everyone. Welcome in. Yeah, that's going to take a while. Does anyone want to see anything in particular? In fact, I'll turn that clicking off because it can be quite annoying. So you can see the switch is now in the left-hand side position. The 2 seconds clock's still going, but because the switch is in the left-hand side position, this isn't closed. So the supply isn't getting across. John, thank you for the follow. Really appreciate it. And you, Apple user, and a load of numbers. Thank you. Really appreciate it. Yeah. It's taking a little while to do this. 26 seconds left. We're getting there. I'm going to call you Bonbread. Thank you for the follow. Really appreciate it. Nearly there now, nearly there. So once this is done, we should be able to see it on the screen. I'll move the camera so you can see it. It's getting there. There's a lot of Japanese on the screen. Ahmed, thank you. Really appreciate it, mate. It's rebooting or something. Yeah. Then it'll come back. How's everyone doing tonight? What's everyone been up to today? So just so you can see what I'm seeing, it is booting up. Oh, in fact, we're on now. Let's go to our nav page. When it gets there. Hello? Is it froze? Oh, there we go. TikTok page. If I put that switch back on, you can see red lamp, green lamp. I don't know if it's very clear for you. There we go. But we can start building from that screen now. We've got comms to the PLC. The PLC is giving logical true on the red and green lamps. We're all good. There we go. Been telling operators that the program errors are indeed mechanical issues. Ah, Jesus. The age-old story. There's something wrong with the PLC. There's something wrong with the PLC. It's been in 15 years. It's never had an issue, but it's definitely the PLC. Yeah, every single time. Okay, so what do we want to build? That's the question. What do we want to do? Let's do some analogs. I feel like we haven't done enough analogs on the lives. So let's take it out of monitor mode. Let me stop that clicking. Oh dear. I bet that was a fun one. Okay, so let's bin this off for now. Let's delete that out. How do we want to play this? We probably want to put on a gauge. You used an 8085. I'm not sure what that is, Kobe. Oh, Kobe. What is that? You'll have to let me know. That's not even the software I wanted up. This is the software I wanted up. I think we need to put in a slider. Just not drag and drop, just draw. And we probably want it vertical. And there is a set point for that. Moving direction, right? No, not that. Vertical. There we go. And then I can pull that up. Pull it in a little bit. I know you guys can't fully see it. It doesn't have to be so thick. I feel like you can see that alright. Still doesn't need to be as thick as that. So we're going to mess around with some analogs, I think. What we'll do is to control the analog signal, rather than have like an actual analog input, we'll just do it from a slider on the HMI. And then we'll display, maybe we'll scale the value or something. We'll do something with that. Just do a little bit of programming with analogs. Use some comparisons maybe. Okay. So let's write this device. Let's make this. Oh, I don't know what to make this because I'm not sure what I've used in all the programs I've got in. In fact, I can use whatever I want because the rest aren't running. So let's just stick with. Let's just go for D10. Why not? The lower limit. Let's make that 0. Let's make the upper limit. What should we make the upper limit? In fact, let's go a little bit. No, yeah, we'll do that. 0 to 1,000. Let's go for that. Afif, thank you for the follow. Really appreciate it. Let's change the color while we're here. Let's make it, I don't know, cyan. Why not? D10 cyan, 0 to 1,000. Do we need to change anything else? The scale itself. That wants to be 0 to 1,000. Do we need anything else on there? Not sure what them settings are. Scale's okay being white. There we go. How does what you're doing now compare to programming Arduino? It's pretty different. Well, it's not. It's hard to describe. So the software itself, the programming language, is something called ladder, which uses contacts, coils, that sort of thing. The program runs in a continuous loop, or at least the main scan does. Cute kids, by the way. Yeah, that was a long time ago when they were young and innocent. Yeah, so the program runs in a continuous cycle, like an Arduino, in the loop. It's programmed in a similar way, where you can do if statements and that sort of thing. Each block is almost like an if statement. SMCC, thank you for the follow. Dark Joker, thank you for the follow. Really appreciate that. Yeah, it's same but different. It's obviously, if I use structured text, it would look a lot more similar. Structured text is a text-based language that you can program PLCs with, similar to how you program Arduino. It's an emulator for a microprocessor. Oh, nice, cool stuff. And what was you what was you emulating with? Some software or something, I assume. You didn't have the actual microprocessor in, you know, on a breadboard or whatever it might be in a circuit. So yeah, anyway, let's get back to this. So there's our slider. That's going to be D10. We're going to put this as D0. So we want to do some scaling before we actually put it in this. I'm calling it lamp state, but it's not. It's more analog value. There we go. So what would you use this for over an Arduino? It's more powerful? Yes, they're much more powerful, but not only that, is they are industrial spec, so they're built very robustly. They've got they're capable of 24 volt inputs, which is a industrial standard for voltage, you know, control voltage. They have comms on them, so if I can show you, I'll pick you up and pull you over. They've got like built-in Ethernet, built-in RS485 over here. They've got analog inputs, analog outputs. Yeah, you would never use an Arduino for like an industrial process. They're just not robust enough. They're not built to last, that sort of thing. Zevad, I'll have to get your name right one day. Thank you for coming back, mate. Good to see you again. Okay, so hopefully that answers it a bit. Let's go for that. Okay, so let's have a look at what do we want to do with it. Well, first of all, I'll tell you what we can do is we can, so it's 0 to 1,000. I will divide that value by 100 and show it on the screen, just as an example of what you can do. So let's put in SM400, which is the always on bit, and then we can say mov D10. No, in fact, we don't want to mov it yet. Let's divide it D10 by 2 K2 and stick it in D0. I think that should work. Let me just double check that. Can it handle 120 volt through its relays or all on board relays 24? No, it can. Yeah, you can put 230 volts on them relays. I would never recommend doing it. What is the recommended way to do it is you slave the outputs off to separate relays, individual relays. The reason you would do that is because if you had a fault on whatever you're driving, you know, whatever your output is, you don't want it to ruin a relay output on that very expensive device. You'd rather it ruin the relay that you're slaving it off to. Yeah, because you can have a very bad day if you start welding output relays and that sort of thing on the PLC itself. DW Zafe, thank you for the follow. OC, I think that says. Thank you for the follow, really appreciate it. I should really move the chat so I can see it a bit better. The background's a bit dark where I had it, so let me put the chat there and then I'll be able to see it a lot better. Okay. So, you can see there's comments already on these D registers. Don't worry about that. I've got a load of unregistered programs in the background that I've made videos over, like off of for months. So there's lots of comments and stuff which ain't going to be relevant. I won't worry about it. All we're looking at is D10, dividing it by 2, sticking it in D0. Wonder if we'll get an issue if it's 0. We'll have a look. We'll have a look. Okay, so then we're going to do some comparisons. And we can say if D0 is less than 10, stick the red light on. So, that K10 D0. So basically, if K10 is greater than D0, do something. That's basically what this is saying here. So we can say Y red lamp, which is some variables I've already got preset up. Let's do less than or equal to, just for the sake of it. Thank you for the likes, everyone. Welcome, welcome. Let's do some other stuff. What else should we do? Let's have green light on. Oh no, let's do yellow light. So if we're greater than or equal to, say, K30, D0, yeah, that sounds good. And then let's do another comparison. So we're making a deadband now. So if the value is less than 30, it's going to do something. But if we put a second one in and say, if it's less than 30 but greater than 20, let's say. No, let's say greater than 10. Let's say greater than 10. Because what I'm thinking in my head is we'll get a little bit of a traffic light situation going on. So if it is Mitsubishi OC, yes it is, mate. If any of this is confusing, just shout out and I'll try and explain it a little bit better. So what we're going to do is greater than or equal to, so less than 30, no, we don't want equal to, okay, D0, yeah, D0, okay, 10. Thinking that's right. And for that we can stick the yellow lamp on. And we'll just, let's write that across now. I will also have to write the HMI software again. Hopefully that's not going to be as slow this time. Oh, now let's say if we haven't got the yellow lamp and we haven't got the green lamp, red lamp, sorry. No, not normally open. I want it normally closed. White, red. Then we can put the green lamp on. Single timer, 3 dB switches, efficient. Not sure what you're talking about there, mate. You'll have to elaborate on that a little bit, please. Right to PLC. Let's execute that. Yes to all. Let's go for it. We're in stop. Oh, let's put it into stop. Right, there we go, green light. It's running again now. Okay, so just to, let's put this through as well, because this isn't on the HMI at the moment. Then I'll show you the HMI in a second. Write that down. Okay. Right. I'm hoping it's not slow. Good, it's much quicker this time. Completed. That's more like it. That's more what I expect. I don't know why it took so long the first time. Okay, so just to double check. Is it going to kick off? Ah, I see an issue. I see an issue. So just to show you what I'm doing, I've got the HMI there. And let me use the... In fact, you can't see it very well. So I've got the slider, which I'm moving the value. The slider is 0 to 1000, but we're halving that value and showing it on the display. So the problem is, I just programmed the yellow lamp and the red lamp to go at less than 30 and less than 10. But you can see the steps are in 50, steps of 50. So it doesn't actually show red or yellow until we get to the bottom. In fact, I don't know how well you can see them colours. Not very well, actually, I don't think. So let's have a play with that then. Let's fix that. Sort that out. Okay. You're flashing via Ethernet. I am, mate. Yes. Yeah. All the communication is via Ethernet. I've got the little unmanaged switch on there. EN squared, thank you for the follow, mate. Really appreciate it. Yeah, I've got a little unmanaged switch on there. I've got the HMI hooked up to the switch. I've got the PLC hooked up to the switch. And then that's hooked up to my PC too. Yeah, okay, so what's the easiest way to fix that? I feel like we should be able to adjust the slider from here, really. I don't really use the sliders, so I don't know all the settings. Are you emulating an analog signal using the slider? Yeah, pretty much. That's basically what I'm doing. I do have a process meter which can do like 4 to 20 milliamp output, but it's more of a pain. I may as well just use the slider on the HMI. What did you say the name of the app in the Play Store is? So the one that with the relay circuits and stuff, that's called Simu Relay. SIMURELAY. Yeah. I'm an engineer, not an English literature teacher, so my spelling might be a bit off. I think I got that right. No problem, mate, no problem. Yeah, I want a few more digits. I want the scale to be a bit finer. It was a little bit coarse there. Let's chuck 50 points in. So what that give me? Is that 10? I feel like that might be 10. Let's just write that down quickly. We do want to change the other end as well. I feel like 30 and 10 is a bit low. We'll see. Ethernet got right. It's my first time here. Is this Rockwell PLC? No, this is a Mitsubishi PLC. Yeah. I'd be interested in seeing signal processing. Probably not tonight. Maybe tomorrow I might do it. But all my stuff's in there. I don't want to go and get it. Right. Let's have a look now. That's much finer. However, it's not working the way I want. So let's go into monitor mode and I'll show you what it is doing. So the analog value should be showing 20, which it does appear to be. And I've clearly got something wrong here because what I wanted was the yellow lamp to come on when the value was between 10 and 30. So at the minute, the yellow light should be on and it isn't. So I think that's more to do with the direction of that. It is definitely to do with the direction of that. I swapped the values and I swapped the direction when I should have kept one of them the same. I should have kept one of them constant. Yes, thank you for that, Aob. That's right, it is that. Okay, so the easiest way, or the most consistent way in my mind, I should keep the values the same. So this wants to be K10. And when I say keep the values the same, I mean the direction of them. So you see how it's the K and then the D? Well, I had the D and then the K, but I also flipped that, which wasn't really what I wanted. Let's also increase these numbers because these numbers are a little bit low. Let's say 150. And let's say 80. I'll be a bit happier with that. Welcome everyone. Okay, so let's write that down. That's all good. Execute that. It's gone into stop mode. Now put it back into run. Let's monitor it again. Okay, so we're at 250. Let's go down. So we're saying the yellow lamp should come on at 150. So you should see both of these blue once I get to 150 or less. In fact, I'll show you as well because then you'll understand when it's going to go. So I'll just try and take it slowly. Keep going, keep going. So at 150 we should see the yellow lamp come on. There we go, 143. Keep going. And at 80 we should see the red lamp come on. That's 81, next one. There we go. Oh, green lamp, why is that? Let's have a look into that. This was supposed to be easy. I'm having a nightmare. I didn't change that, that's why. That's why. So I changed that one. That was 10 to 80, but I forgot to change that one. Good day, sir. What is the software? The software is Mitsubishi GX Works 3, which is a PLC programming software for Mitsubishi PLCs. Rugger, thank you for the follow. Really appreciate that, mate. Alright, let's change that. In fact, let's do a live change. So you can do, when you're programming PLCs, you can do it one of two ways. You can basically write the program offline, then download it to it. The problem with doing that is you have to put the PLC into stop. So if you're working on a live machine in a factory, you're going to have to put that into stop. You might mess something up. You're going to definitely stop the process of whatever it's doing. So a lot of people, if you're working in like a working machine, or you know, the PLC basically can't go off, you do a live change. Do you ever use DirectSoft 6? I don't, mate. I'm not sure what that is. What type of PLC is that for? Fernando, thank you for the follow. Really appreciate that. So yeah, let's do a live change this time round. You do have to be careful with live changes. You can do some very silly things. So I don't use them that often. I never really have to work on a system that's 100%, you know, has to stay on. So I tend to avoid them. You can see I've made that change from 10 to 80. It's taken. I can do the online program change now. It's not turned the PLC off at all while doing this. There we go. So now, if I bring you back over, just have a look at what you can see. Yeah, you can see that okay. You can see the red lamp's on now. So now we've got a bit of a slider. We've got basically some alarms. You know, they could be alarms. You could have them on a traffic light beacon on top of a machine or something like that. And yeah, it's basically working with analogs. The colours don't come through very well, I noticed on the camera. So that is a red, that is a yellow, that is a green, and that's a blue. We're not using the blue at the minute. But this slider is basically just simulating an analog input. And then that's the actual readout. Why do you use a screwdriver to touch the screen? Just so you're not seeing my big fat sausage fingers, really. That's the only reason. I'm using the back end, so the back end's got a nice little soft wheel on it. I'm not using the sharp end. Can write ladder logic on it for PLC. The software, I've never used it. This software you definitely can. This is ladder logic that we're writing in now. Okay, what else do we want to add to this little HMI screen? Has anyone ever worked with any HMI screens or anything like that? Does anyone work with PLCs? So we've got 3 lamps. We've got, I never really showed the push buttons. We haven't really got a use for them as of yet. But on here we can simulate the push buttons. The rig itself has push buttons on it. So they're push buttons. However, we're not using them at the minute. You can see every time I push it, there's like a little green LED on here that lights up. That's the input itself, the digital input on the PLC. Nope, you're a software developer by trade, but dabble with hobby electronics. Nice, mate. So you use Arduinos and that sort of thing just in your spare time? Do you ever use ESP32s? They're kind of my favourite microcontroller. You can actually, I've done a video on it, you can download a program called OpenPLC, and you can basically run ladder logic and industrial languages on microcontrollers like ESPs and Arduinos and that sort of thing. Yes, we love ESP32s. Yeah, man, they're really good. I might do a live stream on some microcontrollers and that sort of thing at some point. Okay, so what else do we want to add? What else does anyone want to see anything in particular? Appreciate you sharing the live. Thank you. You did your degree in software engineering, but you're now getting into controls engineering. Nice, Lewis. So I guess I would guess from that you prefer to use structured text or structured control languages. Is that what they call it in Siemens? From the sort of experiences I've had with people who've come from software engineering into like the industrial world, they all kind of prefer the structured text. Moo, thank you for the follow, mate. Really appreciate it. How's it going tonight? Are you okay?
Here comes the money. Here we go. Money talk.
Katie, thank you for that. Really appreciate it. Good stuff, mate. Good stuff. If you need any help, I don't really need help, mate. I was looking for some suggestions as to if anyone wants to see anything. What you're doing looks more assembly level than what I do. It's just a graphical language. This is just one. There's 5 actual graphical languages. Moo, not at the moment, mate. Thank you.
Here comes the money. Here we go.
Sunglasses. Hey, appreciate that, mate. Thank you for the heart, me too. Yeah, there's 5 industrial PLC languages. There's a standard for it, IEC 61131. And in that standard, you have ladder logic, which is what we're showing here. You have structured text, which is a text-based language. You have function block diagram, which is another graphical language, which is more... In fact, I can show you function block diagram because I have a different software open, which I can show... And that's all and OR gates and that sort of thing. Digital electronics, if you ever did any of that, well, you will do because you do it as a hobby as well. So AND gates, OR gates, NOT gates, NAND gates, that sort of thing. This will make absolutely no sense, this circuit, but we'll do it anyway. Let's chuck that into there. I don't know. I'm making it up as I go along. That would make absolutely 0 sense, so let's not do that. You're just basically hooking up logic gates to make, programs, and then you can chuck them to an output. Simulate that. Put it into run. You guys can see that okay? Yeah, I believe so. And then you can turn inputs and outputs off, and clearly that program I just threw together. Oh, it does turn off. I was thinking it didn't turn off, but it does if both are on. Yeah, so there's a few different languages. Where are you from? I'm from the UK, mate. I'm from North Yorkshire. You're from the Netherlands. Oh, okay, mate. Cool. Haven't tried structured text yet, as the department I'll be moving to uses ladder logic. Nice. Oh, so you're actually moving jobs into industrial controls. Nice, mate. Yeah, ladder logic's probably the most popular, I would say. It always has been. There's definitely an increase in structured text recently, but ladder logic's still king. Not far from you, judging by my accent. Milton Keynes. I've got a funny accent. Yeah, you'd probably never have guessed my accent to be like where I was from. North Yorkshire. Yeah. Looks like crocodile clip. I do remember that. It changed to Yenka, didn't it? Yeah, it's similar. Same as Comap. It is, mate. Tom, do you work with Comaps? It is same as Comaps, yeah. I actually use Zeliosoft quite a lot to pre-test my logic that I put in Comaps. It has timers, etc. This software does, mate. Yeah, this has... there they are. It has multiple different timers. I think you can see that, can't you? Yeah. In fact, can I zoom in on that? I can't, unfortunately, to make that a little bit bigger. It does have timers, so I can, I don't know, take another input there, wire that to an output, Q4. Let's just make that a lamp or something. You can't see that. There we go. To a green lamp. Let's set the time on it to... I like to put the time in here. Let's set it to 4 seconds. So it's just an on delay. You can have on and off delay. Set it to simulate. And it's timing out now, and then it comes on. If I take that back off again, you'll see it's timing out again. Rotherham. No, mate, not Rotherham. Is that not South Yorkshire, I think? It might be North Yorkshire, I don't know. North Yorkshire is a big place. Can I ask you why you use logic gates? No real preference, to be fair, mate. I know there are other ways of doing it in Zelio. Yeah, North Yorkshire wasn't it? Yeah, I've got a funny accent. I was born in London, and then when I was quite young, like 7, I came up here, and my sort of accents kind of merged, and it's got a weird one. Why not just use XIC and XIO? This is function block diagram, so you don't really get that. Siemens Logic 7? No, mate, this is Zelio Soft 2. Schneider Zelio Soft 2. It's for smart relays, it's not for PLCs. Deck, thank you for the follow, mate, really appreciate it. Muscale, hello, how are you doing? Yeah, software job market isn't very good at the moment. Oh, okay, I see. Well, I mean, you can make some real good money in industrial controls. Not sure if you can make as much, you know, if it's as much as like writing applications for startups and that sort of thing. I know there's some mega money in that sometimes. Wow, what software is that? This is Schneider Zelio Soft 2, mate. Oh, so you're a graduate, are you, Lewis? Katie, no, that was the other software. That's Mitsubishi. This one's if I could spell, I would type it in. You're not paying attention, are you, Kate? Let me pin that. That's the software. Sad, thank you for the follow, mate. Really appreciate it. Wait, function block is just using gates. I really didn't know. It is, yeah. Function block diagram is just gates. There are other ways of doing it, so you can somewhere. There is this block called Boolean, and you can kind of. Hang on a second. Do I have? I think I might have to wire stuff up to it before it allows them. Yeah. So I can make truth tables, my own truth tables up. Ah, you guys can't even see it. Sorry, I'm terrible at live streaming. So yeah, there's this block called Boolean. I can chuck a load of inputs to it. Again, none of this is making any sense. I'm not trying to do anything. I'm just showing you. And you can make your own little truth tables up. So you don't have to use the discrete logic. You can just use the truth tables, and then the output, you know, to wherever. Another output, maybe a red lamp. Scalo, not at the moment, mate. I'm sorry. And yeah, to a lamp, put it in simulate, run it, and whatever that truth table was that I just put in, I don't even know. Can you show how to set up the inputs in this software? Is that what you're asking? Certainly can. So as part of the truth table, I don't know if you can see the truth table live. You can't really. It's not giving me like live data, but you can see by having input 1 on and input 4 on, which is and the other 2 off, which is this one here, we get a 1. I think you guys can see that. Hopefully you can see that. I can't make it any bigger, unfortunately. I can't zoom in. In fact, maybe I can. Magnifier. Oh, I've made it all go wrong. I don't know if any of you can see anything at the moment. I'm not entirely sure how to get out of that now. Oh, I've really fucked it now, haven't I? I don't know what you guys... it's up here, that's why. Let me zoom out. Okay. That was wild. I don't know what you guys seen there, but I was way zoomed in. How do I make it a bit smaller? Tom, thank you for the follow, mate. Really appreciate that. I'll catch up with the comments in a second. Let me try and figure out this. I've never used the magnifier before, but I did see someone using it to zoom into stuff. I don't want to go 100%. Windows key minus. Right, I don't know if you guys can see that any better, because it's zooming in both my screens, unfortunately. Hopefully you can. If not, that'll have to do. Graduated last year. Congratulations, Lewis. Have you? So you haven't managed to find like a software engineering job yet, then? Set up the inputs. Yeah, let me go back to that then. Every man and his dog is a programmer now with ChatGPT. Yeah. I mean, it is useful. It is, but unfortunately, I can only see bad things happening on going forward with that sort of thing. If everyone just learns from ChatGPT, no one's going to learn anything. It's helpful as a tool, but to actually just totally rely on it, I don't think that's a good idea for anyone. I seem to have... there we go. Yeah, so if I set up some inputs, it's just a case of going down to the ins, dragging on an input, and you can basically give it a little symbol or something. You can give it a name, like input 7 or something, you know, safety switch, let's call it. And, I don't know, do a little sign for a switch. And it's got a name. So, yeah, the inputs are fairly easy. It has got some analog inputs which do 0 to 10 volt. I think they are the lettered ones. And we can send that to like a little math block. So, output must be the same type. Or maybe we can't quite do that then. Anyway, yeah. Can you give some examples of things I've programmed? Yeah, so I work in power generation. So a lot of the programming I do is generators, diesel generators, switchboards, main supplies, hydro turbines. Because I'm a design engineer, I do the design of the control panel as well as the programming. So I've done control panels for hydro turbines. I did a funny one. I always mention it on live because it was a bit weird for me. It's not my usual, but I did a agitator control panel for a vegan cheese factory. It was a bit mad, and in fact I used a Zelio for that because it just suited the controls that I needed to do. I've missed a few. I have Alan Bradley experience, so pretty much have only messed with ladder logic, mostly sequence. Oh, okay, mate. Sequence-based logic. Yeah. I was doing some ladder logic before I just sort of sidetracked and went onto this. For example, if you have analog input... I've lost that now. And not digital. Oh, if you have an analog, it's just a case of pulling it in function block. I did want to display it. Let's see if I can do this. Put that on there. What's that going to show? I can make that column 5. Can you guys see that okay? Yeah. Column 6. No. Let's make it 10. Alright, 12. Let's put it there. I'll just put val. In fact, I need a fixed one. So, number 1. Another screen. Display here. So these smart relays have a display on them, and you can actually, it's a little, well, you can see it's got 16 lines or something, 4 rows. Yeah, they're okay. You can do a little bit with them. So let's just call this val, analog value, colon. So if I put that into simulate mode now, hopefully I can bring up the front panel, put it into run. You can see it says analog value. Scroll down to where the analog is. I can pull up this little dial here because we're in simulation mode, and you can see as I turn this knob, you can see it's just showing that value of what it is. These are only, I think, 8-bit analog inputs, so they're not great. Well, they do a job. They're all right. How do I start? How do you start what, mate? Are you programming and that sort of thing? You have computer science background. Yeah, I mean, if you've got a computer science background, you can get into this, no bother. Yeah, no bother at all. Thanks. From South Africa, still learning Mitsubishi, Omron, Siemens. Keep going, mate. Yeah, Mitsubishi's quite big in South Africa, I believe, aren't they? There's a big company called Adroit that are sort of like distributors for them. My work colleagues rely on AI too much. Yeah, I feel like that's the way everything's going. School, like, you know, students at school and stuff like that, they're all relying on it a lot as well. It's a good tool to use to help you, but not to learn from. You're not going to learn anything if you have someone else do it for you. Milkshake, thank you for the follow. John Walklin, thank you for the follow. Really appreciate it. ZZZ, thank you for the follow. Katie, you pinned a comment and I totally missed it. I'm sorry. So, is it mostly indicator lights and alerting? What this controller does? Is that what you're asking? This can drive motors and all sorts. It can do loads of stuff. Or are you talking about the display? Sorry, I'm all over the place. Love this. I'm a BMS control engineer. I'm proficient in Schneider, EBO, Trend, Cylon. Oh, you know a fair few then, Ben. What software is this? This is Schneider Zelio Soft 2. It is a just a programming software for smart relays. You find a true engineer who can read and understand anyone's strategy, not just their own. Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, if you're someone who is able to start programs from scratch as well as modify other people's, you have a decent knowledge. You have a good knowledge of what you're doing, I would say. Leon Watty, I think. Thank you for the follow, mate. I really appreciate it. Adam, this is Schneider Zelio Soft 2. Sir, are you familiar with any of the software tools that can simulate bar scanner device for testing? I'm not, mate. I'll be honest, I'm not. In the line of work that I do, I don't get involved with barcode scanners. More about what you've done in industry. Yeah, I can go through that. So I have been in industry now, what year are we in? 13 years. I started off doing an apprenticeship. So, well, I can go back even further. I left school, went to the local tech college and did domestic electrical there. A course, it was called the 2330. Don't know if anyone's familiar with that. So I did that, came out of that, and quickly found that because I was full-time, once I finished that course, which none of the teachers or like tutors told me, is because I hadn't done any of the practical side, I wasn't qualified for anything. I'd basically just spent 2 years full-time at college for I wouldn't say no reason, because I did learn a lot. I got a good idea, but I didn't do the practical stuff because I didn't have an apprenticeship, so I wasn't really qualified to do anything. So it left me in a bit of a hole. During that point anyway, during that course, I kind of figured I didn't really actually want to do domestic electrical. That wasn't for me. I didn't want to be crawling around in people's lofts and under floorboards and, you know, all sorts of stuff like that. So I looked around, and there was a local company who manufactured diesel generators and UPS systems, as well as industrial battery chargers, and they were taking on apprentices. So I applied for there. Fortunately enough, got the apprenticeship. That was a 5-year apprenticeship, so I did that. Went through, did all my qualifications as I was doing that, and came out of that. So as I was doing that, I was in the test department. So I was testing control panels and I was testing industrial battery chargers. I did that for 7 years or something. Maybe it wasn't even that long. Maybe 5. Yeah, probably 5. And then decided I wanted to do an office role. I wanted to go into design, because during my apprenticeship I had spent time in the office doing design. So I became a design engineer. I managed to get a job in the design office. I was there for maybe another year in the design office. Then another opportunity came up at another local company who did very similar job. They manufactured control panels for generators and switchgear, like switchboards and that sort of thing. So that's where I am now, and I've been there 5 years. So yeah, that's basically my career. I'm a design engineer. I design control panels and LV switchgear. What's the company? I wouldn't want to say on live, to be honest, mate. I wouldn't want to say. I've probably missed a load of comments and stuff. I do apologise. Let's go back and find the followers. Where did I get to? I am View, I think. Thank you for the follow. Oh gosh, I'm not going to be able to pronounce that. Kago, that's so, I think. Hopefully that's how I say your name and didn't butcher it. Louis, thank you for the follow. Comic Sub, thank you for the follow. Peach, thank you for the follow. Caden Crow, thank you for the follow. Omar, thank you for the follow. Theasa, I think. Hopefully I said that right. Thank you for the follow. Summers, thank you for the follow. And JMC No Fear, thank you for the follow. Really appreciate that. Let me see what I missed while I was telling my little story there. Why does this give me System Verilog vibes? I'm not sure what that is, mate. Yeah, I'm not sure what that is. What's typical graduate salary and controls? It all depends where you live, to be honest, mate. And kind of the closer you are to cities, I think you get way more than what you get for when you're out in the sticks. Which is like that, you know, it's like anything. If the cost of living's higher and the money, you know, the money's in the cities, you're going to get paid more. It's difficult to say. I would say it could be anywhere from... Well, did you say starters? Hang on. Yeah, graduate salary, I'd say you're probably looking like from anywhere from 25 to maybe 35, maybe 40 years. You know, if you work somewhere near a city, it's not high for a graduate, I would say. So on a generator, what sort of logic do you have to design for? There's loads of stuff. You need to do fuel transfer control. You need to do breaker control. Like if you've got additional breakers, you need to shunt trip certain breakers in certain scenarios. You might need to do some PIDs. I don't know what my live is doing. Yeah, there's all sorts of logic. You might need to control some louvers. You might need to do some additional temperature control and monitoring and that sort of thing for tripping. You might need to share signals between the generators. Yeah, there's a good few things you can... but we use bespoke controllers in the generator industry. So there's companies called Deep Sea, Comap, Deep Sea Electronics, Comap, and Dife. They're the three main ones, I would say. Cummins as well, probably. They're PCC. They have bespoke controllers for controlling generators, and within them you do logic similar to this. So in Comap it's function block diagram. In Deep Sea it's ladder logic like this. Not sure about Dife. To be honest, I haven't used the Dife in well over 10 years. I can't remember. Papa Dave, thank you for the follow. Stam Mattis, thank you for the follow. DK Electronics, thank you for the follow. So last night I kept getting live visibility restricted for 10 minutes. I've just got it again. I can only assume it's because I'm not really doing anything. I'm just chatting. It's a bit annoying, actually. You know who, thank you for the follow. Jeremy, thank you for the follow. Prophecy, thank you for the follow. I'm probably missing a load of comments. I do apologise. I was doing some HMI stuff and some ladder logic stuff. Where's the company based? North Yorkshire, mate. We're based in North Yorkshire. You probably, if you work in the generator industry, I'm imagining you probably know us. Have you tried System Verilog? I haven't, mate. I haven't. Appreciate that, Katie. Thank you for pinning that. Yeah, if everyone wants to ask any questions where I'm not live, or they need a little bit of help, or you just want to talk to other engineers about what you do, I have got a Discord. The link is in my bio. I'm hoping it still works because it was like an invite one where it timed out after a while. If it doesn't, let me know and I'll try to sort it out. I'm just trying to build a little bit of a community where people can get advice, where people can ask questions. You'll be able to know when I go live, when I post a video. So, you know, there's that. If you've got Discord, please feel free to go to it and join it. System Verilog allows you to build all this out using programming logic rather than by hand. I'm not sure what that is, mate. I've never looked into it. Verilog, I feel like I have heard of it, and I thought it was for like microcontrollers and that sort of thing. Good career to get in. Yeah, I really like it, mate. I really enjoy my job. Appreciate everyone who's liking, following, sharing. Really, really appreciate it. Is this SCADA? It's not, mate. No. This is just a HMI. The other stuff I was showing was different programming languages in different controllers. So I have here. I've just lost everything. I have got here, which was what we we started off doing. I've got a Mitsubishi PLC with my little test rig, and I've got a HMI, and we was doing a little bit of programming on that. Kind of got sidetracked on the Zelio stuff, but people seem to like the Zelio stuff, so maybe I'll do a bit more of it. Zach, thank you for joining. What are you saying there? Just atting me. Have I missed something possibly? I do apologise. Remote programming jobs, you know? I'm not sure what you're asking there, mate. Are you asking if I know of any? Can you explain variable frequency drive programming and how you incorporate it in the code? I mean, I guess it depends on the type of VFD, but you would just basically tell it what set point to go to. It has its own ramps and ramp up, ramp down, and that sort of thing. They usually have that in their own parameters, so you don't have to put any crazy PIDs in your code. You can do though, and it's usually over either communications or an analog output. Ever thought of going self-employed? I wish I could, but I've got way too many bills, way too many responsibilities to ever risk it, to be fair. And not enough cash in the bank to be able to risk it if it all goes wrong. I would have loved to though, yeah. How can I get a one-on-one lesson from you? You can't really, mate, to be fair. I'm not a teacher, I'm not a trainer. I just do this I just enjoy talking about controls, showing stuff off. Getting other people, giving me advice while I'm doing stuff. I do it because I like it. I'd rather not, go down the teaching route or training route or anything like that. Appreciate you replying to my questions. No problem, DW. Hope I've helped you there. I'm an EE who and work in controls in the USA. Nice, Logan. What sort of industry are you working, mate? Like the RPLC subreddit. Possibly, mate. I don't go on Reddit, to be fair. Reddit could be a weird place. I'm going to go now. Thanks for streaming. I'll check out your Discord. Thank you, DW. Really appreciate it. I hope you have a good night. Verilog is a hardware description language for digital electronics. Yeah, so that's what I thought. For FPGAs and that, isn't it, I think? Is that not right? But system Verilog, is that different, I assume? Akanatha, I think. Hopefully I've not butchered your name. Thank you for the follow. Really appreciate that. Do you prefer GXWorks 2 or 3? Definitely 3. Yeah, I do prefer GXWorks 3. But I don't mind GXWorks 2. GXWorks 2 is pretty good. Yeah, I don't like GX Developer. That is god-awful. I'm glad we're past them days. The Discord link doesn't work if it's directly from TikTok, but it does work when navigating out of TikTok. Okay. So have you had to copy and paste that or something? I'm late, just like a normal day at work for me, mate. I was slacking tonight. Nah, it's fine, bro. I told you, there's no obligation. If you're here, you're here. That's fine. No problem. I see a few have managed to join, so hopefully everyone figures it out. Thank you, anyone who's joined the Discord. It's very much in its infancy. I am still trying to build it out, trying to figure out how to, do Discord, really. But yeah, the plan is we'll get a load of people together who are interested in controls, can all talk to each other, ask each other questions, help each other out, share the work you're doing. Yeah, that's the plan. Create a little bit of a community behind it. I'm currently on a night shift with GXWorks 2 open, writing a program for a prover in a bakery. Well, I mean, you're on TikTok as well. You need to work a little bit harder, Brandon. What are you doing on TikTok when you're at work? No, I appreciate you coming in, mate. Hopefully it's all going well for you. It's late at night, 10 o'clock at night. Oh, you are on a night shift though. Fair enough. Which software is best to simulate log amplifier, anti-log amplifier, chopper amp? I'm not sure, to be fair, mate. I would say try out Every Circuit. It's a website. Every as in EVERY circuit. That's pretty good for simulating. It's a bit basic. I don't know if it'll help you in what you're wanting, but it's got like a oscilloscope on it and stuff. It's for like low-level electronics. It's for integrated circuits, FPGA. System Verilog is similar with high-level function from C++. Okay. Yeah, I'd never get into that sort of thing, to be fair. I do like messing around with microcontrollers and that sort of thing. But FPGAs, they're a different breed and way above hobby level, I would say. Yes, it gives the option to copy and paste, but I selected take me to browser. Okay, thank you for letting us know, Resno. I'm going to try and get that sorted. Chloe, welcome back. Proofer has lots of belts. Okay, yeah, I'll be honest, I don't really know what a proofer or prover is in a bakery, because it's not my kind of work. VFD programming. What do you want to know? I thought I'd told you about it. No, please don't spam though. I'm not going to do any VFD program because I haven't got a VFD here, so there's no point. I won't be able to actually show you what it's doing. But in effect, it's similar to what I've got down here, where I've got an analog input, and the way I'm setting this voltage here is basically you would set that on an analog output. You would say, you know, if you've got it on an analog output, Jesus, what was wrong with me? If you say I want it to go half speed, you would set it to 5 volts, and you know you'd set up your parameters in your VFD such that 5 volts is half the frequency you normally run it at. How to integrate MPPT algorithm in VFD? I have absolutely no idea, Mo. I have no idea about that. The only thing I know about MPPT is it's used a lot in solar. But apart from that, yeah, I'm not sure, buddy. I'm no VFD expert. I have a couple of VFDs. I've used them, but it's not something I use every day. It's not something I've used, you know, tens of thousands of times or anything like that. So yeah, there's probably better people to ask them questions about VFDs. I use them as the most basic form. I'll use them to basically control some vent fans or something in a generator container. Maybe a pump or two, but nothing crazy. Let me not show you my screen time, mate. You probably think I'm unemployed. What, on my stream? Well, I appreciate it, mate. I do appreciate it. What you been up to today, buddy? So we're about 10 past 10. I think I might end it there. I haven't really got much else to show. I think we did go down this route of getting a HMI screen working, and we kind of did. I don't know if half of the people that are in here now probably didn't see it at the start, but we're simulating an analog input with a slider. I don't really want to. So I've got a slider on here, so as I slide that up and down, you can see the analog value changing. That's a 0 to 1000 slider. Then we're halving it, the value in the PLC, and if it gets less than, I think it was 150, it brought the yellow light on, and if it went less than 80, it brought the red light on. And that also translates to the lights over on the PLC itself. If I can show you, well, green, yellow, red. So we got the basics going. Then we got sidetracked. But yeah, I'm probably going to call it there, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you everyone for joining. Thank you everyone who's liked. Thank you to everyone who's shared. Thank you to everyone who's gifted. Probably be back on tomorrow, I think. We'll see. Maybe about 8, half 8, like usual. That's kind of the time that I go on now once all the kids are up in bed. Yeah, so I'll call it there. And if you can make it tomorrow, I will appreciate it. See you then.